across the fence, we'll do a little horsing around as we gear up for the annual Everything Equine and Canine event. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Everything Equine and Canine is next weekend at the Champlain Valley Expo in Essex Junction. It's a two-day family-friendly event with a full schedule of seminars, demonstrations, and entertainment. To begin, I'm joined by the co-founder, Dr. Betsy Green, who is an equine specialist with UVM Extension. Always great to have you with us.
Great to be here.
Now, here we go again. Hard to believe it's time again for Everything Equine,
know.
entering your second decade.
Yes, and I tell you, the first decade of Everything Equine, we have provided a venue for a wealth of information on education, from veterinary care, nutrition, to you name it, training. We have provided consumer trade show, shopping, and of course entertainment, which we'll talk about. But it's really cool because this year we started looking, saying, all right, when you go to the barn, who's the first person or thing that you're greeted by? The dog, right?
Usually.
And so with horse people with dogs, and then we have dog people, we just figured, okay, let's try and do something new and bring these two groups that have a very big overlap together and have some fun. And of course, today we're actually focusing on the fun.
And so one of the constants over the years is a special variety show called Horsing Around, and it had really special significance last year.
Yeah, we had, of course, we're in the end of April, and it was right shortly after the Boston Marathon. And we had some acts that wanted to give some recognition and honor to the situations that had been happening, and also to some of the horses. In fact, we have a video clip showing that group where the bagpipes were playing Amazing Grace, and then you see Sue Heath on her Canadian gelding coming in, riding around, and they were honoring those folks. And of course, it was really cool because everybody could take a minute and reflect, and even honoring some, like Sally Swift would have turned 100, I believe, and very famous, riding instructor in Vermont. And then also Petey, the horse that earned his PhD at UVM teaching students, had passed away at the age of 30. So local and national recognition. And then of course we had our headliner, Dan James, who's Australian. He came in and he was riding for his national anthem that we played as well. And then of course he has to show some of his stuff and talent with his animals. And of course, great deal of education, but also entertainment. And here you have his 3 horses there, and how does he cue them?
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah, in fact, you got to see him one-on-one, I believe, for a while.
I did.
And I still don't think I'd want to teach my horse to rear.
No, that's one thing that I teach him not to do.
I suppose, it's just like you teach your horses to do it so you can have them not do it. But, I mean, it was just amazing what kind of control he had.
Yeah, and how they're waiting for the next cue.
Yeah, and you have to have a relationship to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, it's just
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, and of course we had UVM drill team last year. It was great. They did a great job portraying the work that the students are doing at the horse barn, and a little bit of teamwork there as well.
And a lot of teamwork there.
A lot of teamwork. And of course our drill team, it depends on who's in the barn. So, if we have the right number and type of horses, it just depends. But so last year was fantastic, and then this year we have some new stuff coming up.
What are you bringing in?
Well, we'll have some of the we'll bring back the Icelandics that you'll see in a minute here, but the Icelandics will be coming. I don't think they're bringing their dancers, but this was great, the fairy dancers, but their little drill team, of course, they're tolting around. They'll come in here in just a sec. And we were surprised to see them with fairy costumes on. Look at them. Aren't they? I mean, they're the cutest things, and they did a fantastic job. So
yeah.
those guys will be back. We'll also have some folks that'll be doing some agility. The cool part is it's not just horse agility. This is Vermont's dog and pony show, first dog and pony show, so we'll be having some dog agility as well. We'll have all kinds of things going on. And it's really cool because from the classic dressage to jumping, to stream trail. It's just going to be something to see. It'll be great edutainment, as I like to say.
Got a pirate here.
Yes, that's a Lusitano stallion, and you know, you think, oh, people thought that was Johnny Depp. It was the trainer, a female trainer. But,
it's a great, way to see breeds that you don't normally see.
oh yeah, breeds and activities. In fact, we'll have even some medieval things going on.
Great.
Yeah, so some new things and some old favorites. It's just going to be a great show, and unfortunately, we won't have Dan James doing his barefoot or sneaker Roman riding, which you'll see in one sec here, but oh, here, he lost his horse, right? Watch this, you say control a horse. He just has his whip that he just has a cue. Can you do that with your horse?
No.
So it's going to be an excellent show.
Yeah, it's amazing to see someone who's got that kind of a control over an animal, not even touching them.
Yeah.
And this was fun to watch him too do.
Oh yeah, and I mean, just even doing that. But then if you watch what he does around the corner, I just would have fallen off a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I think I would have fallen off before I got on.
But just the fact that you can keep them together.
Yeah, watch this.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. Can you jump over your whip?
No.
I can't do that on the ground.
Maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah, so, but, so we're going to have an excellent show. It's just exciting, and it will be really cool. And it's one of the forms of edutainment and entertainment at the event, along with all of the educational aspects.
Yeah, no, you wonder how many people probably fell off their horses going home after watching us
Yeah,
trying that.
hopefully not too many people.
Well, there's another special event to highlight. Joining us now to talk about the Extreme Trail Challenge is Doug Smith of the Vermont Horse Council. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
What is an Extreme Trail Challenge?
Well, Extreme Trail Challenge is a timed and judged event where a horse rider team completes a series of obstacles over a pre-designed course.
And so, who can participate?
Well, we accept applications until mid-April, and we like to have a video with them to make sure that the person that's going to compete has actually done this before and knows what extreme trail is all about.
Because there can be some scary things for horses.
There can.
It looks easy.
Yeah, well, it may look easy, but the horse rider team have to have trust in each other, and they have to be well trained.
I think there are some pictures that sort of illustrate some of the things that people will be expected to do with their horses in this challenge.
Yeah, these are from last year. And there's a number of different obstacles. I don't think we may carry over a couple. It depends on what the theme is going to be.
Yeah, because this was last year's theme was road safety, safety on the road with horses, and then this year's theme.
Yeah, this year's theme is Pony Express. So, in Pony Express, we're going to try to make it as similar as possible to the Old West Pony Express, where the rider's team comes in and picks up the mail. We're going to have a mannequin there, Amelia. She's the postmistress. Shake hands with the postmistress and pick up the mail, and then deliver the mail along the way over the course that they're going to be on.
And I think we have some more pictures of the course too, some of the things that people might encounter.
Yep, this is a balance beam. We are going to carry this over. This seems to be a favorite, at least a crowd favorite, to watch the horse try to walk across that balance beam.
Yeah.
That's one that they really need to practice. Yeah, this one we're not going to carry over from last year, but this is another one where they have to get the horse up on the tire.
All 4 feet?
All 4 feet.
At once?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a UVM
I mean, that's
drill team
the
member.
object.
Nice.
Right,
Yeah.
they're all judged. So it depends on, in this one, it was an L shape, and now they're backing, side passing back over the L. So.
And so tell me a little bit about why some of these obstacles are so hard for a horse.
Well, that's a good question. You know, some obstacles, some horses don't have any problem with, and other horses just are very terrified of them. And as we discussed briefly earlier, there's one where there's a fan with streamers on it, and the horse has to walk by the fan inside of a plank that's on the ground. And some horses just that's when you need to practice. Some horses are terrified of that, and others it's not a problem at all.
Tell me a little bit about how the event is going to be judged, because time is important.
Yep. There are 3 criteria to the judging the event. The first is overall time, to try to get through the course as quickly as possible. The second is judging each obstacle itself, obstacle or task. And there'll be 2 judges there that will watch that, and depending on how smoothly the team does, the more points they'll get. And the third one is at the obstacle time. They're only going to be allowed 30 seconds per obstacle to get through that, each obstacle. And if they don't do it within 30 seconds, they get whistled and have to move on to the next obstacle.
And there's horsemanship taken into effect, so you can't just race through dangerously.
Right.
You have to do it with control and
Yes.
precision.
Yep.
Right. And prizes?
Yeah, there are, for the first top 3, $1,500 for top prize.
Wow.
Second place
Yeah.
is $750, and third place is $500.
And about how many people do you think will be participating?
We set a limit of 20. We usually have in the upper teens.
Okay.
So
And so when does the Extreme Trail Challenge take place?
it takes place at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, April 27th, in the Expo North Arena.
Okay.
Yep.
And so we should point out that to get more information on the Extreme Trail Challenge or any other aspect of Everything Equine or Canine Weekend, you can go to the website on your screen. It's cvexpo.org, or you can call the Expo at 802-878-5545. And so, obviously, a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely, for something for everybody, entertainment and education.
And tell me a little bit about your experience with horses, just so people know about the Horse Council.
Oh, gee, well, my wife and I, we've had horses for 30 years, probably. She had horses well before that. I had horses when I was a kid on the farm. We've done a lot of, my wife mostly has done a lot of competing in endurance and extreme, or competitive trail riding, and my daughter now is riding one of our horses in Extreme Trail Challenge. So, and the Vermont Horse Council overall, it's all horsemen that like to do trail riding or extreme trail or gym
from
canvas.
pleasure to professional,
Yeah.
a little bit of everything.
And do you find that, we talk about trail riding, it's very different from a show circuit, but that
Yeah.
also reflects the differences in what's being offered, what people want to learn about.
Right, there is something for everybody, because some people want to go out and ride around and do it, whether it's dressage or Western pleasure, and then some people want the game aspect of competition. And so we just try and bring everything. And so there's something for everybody at Everything Equine and Canine.
And so tell me a little bit too about some of the other things that people are going to be able to see.
Well, of course, there's always the consumer trade show. We'll even have breed row for dog and horse. We'll have the kids' corner is always a staple there. And we have some great sponsors for the whole thing as well. So 4 Legs and a Tail is one of our sponsors this year for the dog stuff. And then they have sponsors for each of the events, or each of the obstacles.
Yep.
I know one of the big pushes this year too was the PSA that was produced about safety on the roads.
Yeah, and that has really, it's been in at least 7 states on several different stations, and it's available online, because we wanted to promote horse safety on the road to educate both the horse people and the drivers, because they both need to play a role in keeping everybody safe.
And Bella, it's the spring season, so people are going to be encountering a lot of people on the roads with horses. What are some of the things people should keep in mind?
Well, always watch the rider for cues. If the horse is nervous, it doesn't help you to go honk a horn or speed up. You need to actually slow down and wait for a signal, because the horse is not always, rider and horse are not always in control if the horse is spooking. So be calm, be sensible, and give a wide berth as you're passing too.
And so for horse people, what should they keep in mind?
Well, they need to respect the rules of the road and ride in a single file, and also not expect, they need to make sure they're signaling the driver to say, hey, can you please, make contact, eye contact, hand signals, whatever, so that the driver knows, because they don't necessarily know that the horse feels like it's about to explode or jump into the ditch or into the road. So
Right, and the only way to get a horse used to being on the road is to get the horse on the road.
that's right.
Yes.
Especially in the springtime, it can be a little tricky.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, I want to thank you both for joining me today. That's our program for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. We'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.